Greetings, Commanders! Alright, today we're doing something a little different. You may notice the audio profile's changed. It's because we're actually doing a fireside chat by the fire. And the reason is because I've been trying to explain the NYC situation with AXR totally just not doing anything last night. Last night's Galactic Battle in the semifinals. For those of you that don't know, we live streamed it, and AXR was a no-show. Basically, they got penalized because the devs put a patch in on Monday that didn't let their members join in time, allegedly. I don't know if that's true, but it could certainly be true, so I wouldn't be surprised. We're going to have a couple lag issues here, but I'm not too worried about it. It's not going to affect the video and what we're doing today. So here we are in the Season 4 Galactic Battle Finals. GBD and ALD will face off Thursday, 9 o'clock next week, I think. If they follow the same schedule they followed this week. That means there's going to be a loser's match for the teams that are in 3rd and 4th place on Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And we'll be streaming it, of course. But the question is there anything to stream? Because ALD didn't show up last night, and after this, edgy piece of mail went out today, people complaining about them not showing up and giving us a replay to donate magazines to, they've been a hot seat of controversy. So NYC is kind of under the gun right now to tell us what's going on. And so I couldn't get this video done the way I wanted to do it. I just kept tripping over my word, and it just didn't come out right. So I started telling my wife about it. And I realized as I was explaining it to her, it makes a lot more sense. So we're going to kind of do it in that format so I can explain to you guys kind of where we're coming from as a community and kind of give a perspective to maybe a newer player or someone who's not familiar with it. So we'll be referring to her moving forward as Sparkle Princess. That's what we're going to go with. So, honey, you could say hi.
Hi.
Louder.
Hi.
Yay! Okay. Last night during the Galactic Battle, we did the live stream. You heard me chatting on about it. We still live streamed for 2 hours because there were still 50-something viewers. But it's a lot of controversy because no one, just for going to the fight, people get to donate some little medals, and they get 10 magazines back, which are valuable, and they're worth about 400 gold. Just for going to the fight, showing up, and saying, hey, we're here, I'll watch a replay, you give them a gift, and you stay or leave. But that's the incentive. They want you to come watch. So they didn't give us a fight to give a single replay, despite showing up for a minute or two. And there was a lot of outrage because it was a real dick move when, in the last 24 hours, over 800 people have seen that video. And during the actual playoffs, well over 1,000 people would have been tuned in to watch it. So the first question is, should we be mad at the guild that didn't show up? I'm asking you.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think so.
Why not?
Because didn't you say that this was a recent change about having to be in the guild for 72 hours? So maybe they didn't like the change.
They certainly didn't like the change. But the thing is these guilds are on the same server. And it's very rare for a power guild to be able to have a guild strong enough to compete into the top 16, let alone 2 guilds. And they did it by basically sandbagging players. Like if our match was on Monday, they would fight on Monday, and then on Wednesday, they would have all their strong players go to the other guild, and the same server with a different guild name would represent twice.
Right, they were stacking their teams.
Right, and then the patch basically said you can't join the Galactic Battle if you haven't been in the guild for 3 days. And that came out on Monday, and their battle was on Wednesday, and allegedly, they didn't have enough time to transfer players to the correct guild they wanted.
So they just threw a fit and didn't play?
So they threw a fit and didn't play.
They took their ball and went home.
They took their ball and went home. But here's the thing. They gave us a great battle the night before, but then the next night, one of the bosses, they run it military style, 80 players. This isn't their first rodeo. It's their 4th season. Last season, they got runner-up. They know what they're doing. The boss basically, what he says goes. And he said, nobody joins the Galactic Battle. If you do, you get kicked. I mean, he didn't say, if you do, you get kicked. The boss doesn't have to. If he says, don't do it, you don't do it. So you don't have to find out what happens. You know what happens. So one person joined and left immediately. When I asked a member of their guild after this controversy broke out, I said, why didn't you just send in one person to give everyone a replay? We asked for over an hour, and it was a 3-4 hour affair. And he said that it wasn't fair to send a player in who would just get zeroed by the enemy. Yeah, which is a rational statement, except he doesn't have to get zeroed. He can just go send a weenie fight real quick and then leave, right?
Right, or they could have sent other members from their guild and just sucked it up.
Yeah, they had 160 people in this mega guild. So people were rightfully mad. And 400 gold, I know you don't have an understanding of what that is, but 400 gold takes... It's a lot. It's not... A shield, an 8-hour shield is 300 gold. So... And people need magazines. You'll never have enough magazines. So they just rob that from people. But in their defense, I kind of started drawing this parallel. They did a great job of bringing awareness to the fact that because they weren't able to stack the team they wanted to, and the devs kind of threw it at them, they were forced to take a knee and piss all the players off, kind of like the football players did in the NFL. Until, whether you agree with them taking the knee or not, the fact is now we're talking about it. And what they're trying to bring up is they got screwed. They didn't get to stack the odds in their favor.
Do they get penalized for not showing up?
No, there's no penalty for not showing up. They take the loss whether they spend 100,000 gold or no gold at all.
I don't know. If I was the members of that guild that weren't good enough to play, I would be kind of pissed anyway.
So if you were a member of the guild that didn't play...
I would be offended because it's like, oh, well, we're not good enough unless we have these key people, so the rest of you suck.
Right, so if you're a member of the guild, you're pissed because they wouldn't even let you go into the fight. But unfortunately, some guilds in this game are really militant like that. Really militant. So, that's the word I've been using, militant. When I say strict, but it's what it is. It's military style.
Was there a downside to the viewers other than just not getting to see a fight?
Was there a downside to the viewers? Well, we don't care about the fight so much, right? We go there to cheer on our friends and the people in the game. It's kind of like going to your neighbor's Little League game. You don't really care the outcome too much, but you want to see them play and, interact with the people you know. And, of course, it cost us 10 magazines each, 400 gold worth of magazines.
Did you guys get that back?
We didn't get it back, but they never gave us the opportunity to claim it. Well, like, if they didn't since they didn't give us a single fight replay, we had nothing to watch. And you have to watch a replay to get the magazines.
Okay.
Now, my argument is that because they're so popular, because they're such a big guild, because they've been around for so long, and they were in second place last season, they have so many fans, they should have had at least one person to go in and give us a replay. Right?
Right.
But because they didn't, everyone's pissed. Because it's just a dick move.
I agree. But I kind of see why they did it. Why did the developers change the rules? They
changed the rules because people were guild hopping. So if there's 32, the idea is that the playoffs are made up of the 32 best guilds. And that the guilds, by nature of a guild, people don't just jump guilds to make one better than the other whenever they need to. The idea is that the strongest guild from each server represents itself. But because they keep merging our servers, sometimes those guilds don't want to merge, or there's just not enough room in a guild to merge. So you end up getting the potential for 2 mega guilds to make it in the top 32, where a really good guild isn't as strong as those older servers, and they get knocked out and never get the chance to compete.
So they're trying to level the playing field.
They're trying to level the playing field. They're trying to stop people from exploiting imagine if the New England Patriots every week were able to take Tom Brady and their 3 best defenders and 3 best offensive players and just put them on the New York Giants every week. They have a game on Thursday, the Giants get Tom Brady and the other 6 guys on Sunday. What they're trying to do is stop that from happening. You can only play 1 game a week. They don't even care if you're on a different guild the next week because people change guilds. But everyone was doing it. It wasn't just NYC.
And when did they tell everybody about this new change?
They told everyone about the change Monday morning when they were doing a sneak hot fix to the game, which was Monday morning was nighttime in China. And apparently, if you hadn't shifted guilds in that next 3 hours, you wouldn't have been shifted in time to make the playoffs if you were in the wrong guild. If you were in NYC, you wouldn't be able to join ALD and still compete.
Well, I think they should have given a bigger time frame.
So, okay, so the developers should have given them a bigger time frame.
Right.
Okay.
Because you just changed the rules and I have, 3 hours to comply?
So if that story's true and the timelines are a 3-hour window in the middle of the night in China, then yeah, the developer should have given them more time. Otherwise, it seems like a strict punishment. Almost like, hey, you had a chance, but you didn't do it fast enough. It's not our fault.
Right.
But then what about NYC's response to basically tell their fans, pound sand? They say it wasn't on purpose. But then look at the outburst. Now there's so much attention on it.
Well, it definitely was on purpose, and I don't think that you can deny it.
It was on purpose that they
decided not to play, that they told all their people, do not go in there.
Right, they definitely did that, but like the fact that they robbed the fans, I think that's what this all comes down to. It's like,
yeah, but they don't care about the fans; they care about their guild.
Right. So the question is, us as fans, do we continue to support them, or do we just treat them like crap for not giving a shit about us?
Well, they're kind of like the Raiders, like they're crap.
They're the Raiders?
Yeah.
NYC is the Raiders of Ark of War?
That's my opinion.
Oh, that's it. That's the end of this discussion. There, and the Wi-Fi went off right there. So that's it. NYC it's kind of a dick move, but the devs kind of dicked them too, apparently. And they could have given us a replay, but the bottom line is that next week on Wednesday, 9 o'clock, there will be another live stream. It will be the losers match. NYC and AXR, they are the two same guilds we're talking about. They have a chance to give us a replay for our magazines, or they could bend the knee and just keep us all angry. It's up to them. So in the comments below, I don't normally do this, but take a second to write in the comments below or check the comments and either upvote someone's opinion you agree with or write your own if it's not there. I'm genuinely curious because only 50 people or so are vocal about this, and this video and the live stream and the people that watch, there was over at least 2,500 people with opinions. So put in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious. And for members of NYC, I know it's not a personal thing. I know it wasn't your choice to screw the fans over. I know that some of the rationalization that was used isn't really negotiable. You can't just argue with the bosses. You're in their server. You're in their guild. If you want to be a part of it, you got to go by the rules. But, at the end of the day, you have to be your brother's keeper. And if they're doing something wrong or screwing over their fans and they don't know it, sometimes you got to speak up and say something. Because, at the end of the day, if you don't, you become the Raiders of Ark of War. So that's it, man. You guys are going to get a new title. I'm going to take away the Lich King from your guys' icon. You guys get to be the Raiders now. No, I'm not going to do that. Maybe I'll do that. All right, that's the end. Let me know what you guys thought. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.